Okay, we've made it to our last video for today. This is going to be comparing and ordering decimal numbers. So let's go to our table of contents. And add that, comparing and ordering decimal numbers. And for me, that will be page 20. Now at this point, you'll need to stop the video and set your page up so that you have your title, Comparing and Ordering Decimal Numbers, and you've got these 4 numbers in a row, then these 4 numbers in a row, and then you'll want these problems down on the bottom where we'll be using them to compare and putting in our greater than, less than, or equal than signs. So go ahead, pause your video and get your page set up like this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do up here is we're going to order our numbers. And remember, there are 2 ways that we can order our numbers. We can go least to greatest or greatest to least. So let's take this first set. And for the first set, we'll go ahead and go from least to greatest. Remember, that's one of the tougher things to pay attention to on these kinds of problems, is just to order them correctly. So the first thing that we can do is look at the numbers in front of the decimal points and start there. And I'm going to go ahead and write in 4 spaces so that I remember to get every number there when I'm done. I'm going to look at these numbers. I've got a 5 and 85 hundredths, a 58 and 5 tenths, a 4 and 72 hundredths, and a 2 and 74 hundredths. If I just look at the whole number part of these, I've got a 5, a 58, a 4, and a 2. And we all know that our 2 is going to be the smallest number, and our 58 will be the largest number. So right off the bat, I know that even without paying attention to the decimals, I can put 58, oops, sorry, nope, we're going from least to greatest, I apologize. Get rid of that, 58, sorry about that. We're going to put 2 and 74 hundredths there, and 58 and 5 tenths here, because 2 and 74 hundredths is our least, and 58 and 5 tenths is our greatest. And then let's go ahead and cross those out so that we know we've taken care of those. Now we're left with the last 2. We've got a 5 and 85 hundredths and a 4 and 72 hundredths. Again, we don't even need to pay attention to the decimal part there really, because we know that 4 is less than 5. So we can go ahead and put in our 4.72 and our 5 and 85 hundredths and cross those out so we know we're done. So we did least to greatest there. All right, now it can get a little bit tougher, of course. So let's look at the next group. And on this group then, let's go ahead and go from greatest to least, and I'll see if I can remember this time. So again, I'm going to draw 4 lines. No, I'm not. I'm going to draw 5 lines this time because I've got 5 numbers. And I'm going to start, again, I want the greatest number first down to the least, or the smallest number. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my whole numbers first. And I've got an 8, a 1, and a 1, an 8, and an 8. So of course my 8s are going to be larger than my 1s. So look at those first. And remember, it's always a good idea to kind of put this in the context of money. Think about this as $8.10, and this is $8.13, and this is $8 even. So if you think about it that way, it makes it pretty easy. But we're going to look at the number that's in the tens place here then and start to compare those numbers. And we can see that we've got a 1 in the tens place here, a 1 in the tens place here, but a 0 in the tens place here. So this number is smaller than these other 2. Now remember, we want the greatest number, so we know it's not that one. And then we've got a 1 and a 1. This one doesn't have anything here, so since it doesn't have anything there, if we were going to write a number in, it would be 0. And of course 0 is less than 3, so our largest number here is the 8.13, or the 8 and 13 hundredths. then one of these two has to be our next smallest number. And of course, that's going to be the 8.1, 8 1/10, like $8.10. And then our 8. Looking at the last two numbers, we know that one of these has to be smaller than the other. So let's go ahead and look at our tenths place. That one's got an 8 there, and this one has a 1. And of course, 1 is less than 8, so this will be our smallest number, 1 1800ths. And then 1 8/10 will fall in that place. So we've now got our numbers ordered from greatest to least. Let's just double check. So this would be like $8.13, $8.10, $8, $1.08, $1.80, $1.18. So we've gone from greatest to least. And our next task is to be able to put in those greater than, less than, and equal to signs. So you probably remember, we've talked about this year, and you've had it in years past, that this is our less than sign. This is our greater than sign. And of course, this is our equal to sign. And you remember that we can think about there being little alligator teeth in here, and that the alligator wants to eat the larger number. So we'll look at these first two. And again, we start with the number, that's the whole number part. And we can see right off the bat that this is a 7 and this is 73. So again, this is like $7.30, even though there's not a 0 there. And this is like $73.10. So 73, of course, is much larger than 7. So we want the wider mouth part to be towards the 73. So we'll use our less than symbol. And I'm going to go ahead and put some alligator teeth in there just to help you remember that alligator wants to eat that bigger number. So 7 3/10 is less than 73 1/10. Let's look at our next one. We've got 9 1/10 and 9 1/10. The 0 doesn't change the value of this at all. We could say this is 9 10/100ths, but it's still equal to 1/10. And so these two are exactly equal. Because if we were going to put another number here, it would be a 0. So those two are exactly equal. Pause the video now and you try these last two and then restart it when you're done, and we'll see how you did on those. All right, so we have a 5 as the whole number and a 5 as the whole number, so that doesn't help us. Then we have a 4 in the tens place and a 2 in the tens place. So the 4 is larger, which means the bigger mouth goes towards the 4. And so this would get a greater than symbol. You guys have done a really fine job on these with the whole numbers, so I don't expect you to have too much trouble with the decimal numbers. So we're saying 5 42/100ths is greater than 5 24/100ths. Let's look at the next one. We've got 3 3, doesn't help us. 7 7 doesn't help us. 8 6, there's our difference. So 8 is larger than 6. So we want that wide mouth to go towards the 8 because it's bigger. And so we see that 3 78/100ths is greater than 3 76/100ths. That'll do it for notes for tonight. So bring your notebooks with you to class next time, and we'll be doing some activities to make sure that you understand these. See you in class. Bye, guys.